What if I told you that when your mind screams, "I'm done," you've only used 40% of your potential? Most people never discover what they're truly capable of.
Wait, only 40%? That sounds impossible.
David Goggins went from a 300-pound exterminator living in fear to completing over 60 ultramarathons. He discovered something most people never learn. Your mind isn't protecting you when it tells you to quit. It's lying to you. Welcome to another episode. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake.
Today we're diving into one of the most intense books on mental toughness ever written. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins.
I've heard about this guy. Isn't he the Navy SEAL who runs crazy ultramarathons?
That's him. But here's what makes his story so powerful. He wasn't always that person.
What do you mean?
He transformed himself from someone who was scared, overweight, and completely stuck in life.
So this isn't just about elite athletes?
Not at all. His methods apply to anyone who feels like they're hitting invisible walls.
I feel like I hit those all the time. You start strong on something, but then you just fizzle out.
That's exactly what Goggins teaches us to overcome. He says most of us quit way before we actually need to.
That's a bold claim.
It is. Today we'll cover 5 key concepts. The 40% rule, the accountability mirror, callusing the mind, the cookie jar method, and embracing the uncommon.
All right, let's break this down.
First, let's talk about David Goggins' background. Because understanding where he came from makes his transformation even more powerful.
What was his life like before all the Navy SEAL stuff?
He grew up in an abusive household. His father ran an illegal roller skating rink where young David worked the midnight shift.
Wait, the midnight shift as a kid?
Yes. He barely went to school because he was working all night.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It was. By his mid-20s, he was working as an exterminator. He weighed 300 pounds. He was depressed, broke, living paycheck to paycheck.
So what changed? How did he go from that to becoming a SEAL?
One night, he saw a documentary about Navy SEAL training. Something clicked.
Just like that?
He decided right then that he would become a SEAL.
But wait, at 300 pounds? How is that even possible?
Everyone thought he was crazy. But he lost over 100 pounds in 3 months.
3 months?
Yes. And he made it into SEAL training.
That's absolutely insane.
And that's where he discovered the 40% rule. The 40% rule is the foundation of everything Goggins teaches.
Okay, explain this to me. How can we only be using 40% of our capacity? That seems like a huge claim.
During Hell Week in SEAL training, Goggins watched people quit constantly. But here's what he noticed.
What did he see?
When people said they couldn't go on, they still had massive reserves of energy left. They weren't physically done.
So what was happening?
Their minds convinced them to quit.
So the mind is like a safety switch? It just kicks in way too early?
Exactly. Your brain's job is to keep you comfortable, not to maximize your potential.
That makes sense from an evolutionary perspective.
Right. But when you feel like quitting, you've only reached about 40% of what you're truly capable of.
That's kind of terrifying and exciting at the same time. Like, if that's true, I've been leaving so much on the table.
Right. Now, the second concept is the accountability mirror.
I've seen Goggins talk about this. It looks brutal.
It is. Every morning, he wrote Post-it notes on his bathroom mirror. Each note listed an insecurity, a failure, or a goal he was avoiding.
So you're forced to face yourself every single day?
Exactly. You can't fix what you won't acknowledge. Most people lie to themselves about where they really are.
I feel personally attacked.
We all do it. But Goggins says brutal honesty is the only starting point for real change.
Okay, what's the third concept?
Callusing the mind.
Like building calluses on your hands from doing physical work?
Exactly. When you do physical work, your hands develop calluses to protect against friction.
Right, I get that.
Your mind works the same way. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the more resilient you become.
So you deliberately seek out hard things? That seems backwards.
It does feel backwards. But that's the idea.
What did Goggins actually do?
He would take cold showers, run extra miles, do workouts when he was exhausted.
Why would anyone do that voluntarily?
Not because he enjoyed it, but because each small win against comfort expanded his threshold.
That sounds absolutely miserable. But I guess that's the point.
It is. But here's the fourth concept that makes it easier. The cookie jar method.
This sounds way more fun than cold showers.
It's not about actual cookies. It's a mental technique. Imagine you have a jar in your mind filled with past victories. Every time you've overcome something difficult, that goes in the jar.
So when things get hard, you reach into the jar?
Exactly. When Goggins was at mile 70 of a 100-mile race, he'd remember surviving Hell Week. When his body was screaming at him to stop, he'd pull out a memory of a past win.
That's actually really practical.
It is. And it builds on itself. Every new challenge you overcome becomes another cookie in the jar.
What's the fifth and final concept?
Embracing the uncommon.
What does that mean?
This is about going beyond the growth zone.
Wait, hold on. There's something beyond the growth zone? I thought the growth zone was already pushing it.
Goggins calls it the uncommon zone.
So what's the difference?
It's where you do what 99% of people aren't willing to do.
Like running 100 miles? That's what you mean by uncommon?
That's one example.
Okay, but that sounds kind of reckless.
It's not about being reckless. It's about being relentless in pursuing what others consider impossible.
So it's about pushing past what normal people think is the limit?
Yes, but with intention and discipline, not just random suffering.
That's an important distinction. Okay, this all sounds intense. How do we actually apply this without becoming Navy SEALs?
Great question. Let's break it down into practical steps. First, start with the accountability mirror.
Do I literally need Post-it notes?
You could. Or use your phone's notes app. The key is to write down 3 specific things you're avoiding. Maybe it's a difficult conversation, a fitness goal, or a project you keep postponing.
And I look at this every morning.
Every morning. No excuses, no sugarcoating. Second, start building mental calluses with small discomforts.
Like what?
Cold showers are the classic example. But you could also do a hard workout when you're tired. Wake up 30 minutes earlier, or skip dessert when you're craving it.
So it's about deliberately choosing discomfort?
Right. But here's the key. Start small.
What do you mean by small?
You're building a habit of not quitting when things get uncomfortable. If you try to go 0 to 100, you'll just burn out.
That makes sense.
Third, create your cookie jar.
Okay, walk me through this. How exactly do I build my cookie jar?
Sit down and write a list of times you've overcome difficult things.
Like what kind of things?
Maybe you finished a tough project at work. Or you recovered from an injury. Or you survived a really painful breakup.
So literally anything hard I've done?
Yes! Keep this list somewhere you can access it easily.
And then when I'm struggling with something new, I review it?
Exactly. It reminds you that you've done hard things before. You're not starting from 0. Fourth, remember the 40% rule.
How do I use this day to day?
Next time you want to quit something, pause. Ask yourself if you're actually done, or if your mind is just trying to keep you comfortable. Then push for just 10% more.
Just 10%?
That's it. You don't have to go from 40% to 100% overnight. Just find that next 10%.
That actually feels doable?
That's the point. Goggins built his life 10% at a time.
All right. So what's your honest take on this? Do you think everyone actually needs this level of intensity?
I think the principles apply universally, but the intensity is personal.
What do you mean by that?
Not everyone needs to run ultramarathons or become a Navy SEAL.
Thank goodness for that.
But everyone has areas where they quit too early.
Like what?
Maybe it's your career. Maybe it's your health or your relationships. We all have that thing where we give up right before the breakthrough.
The accountability mirror thing really hits hard for me.
Right. Because we all have things we avoid looking at.
What about the criticism that Goggins is too extreme? I've heard people say his approach is unhealthy.
That's a fair criticism. His methods definitely aren't for everyone. And you shouldn't copy him exactly.
So what should we take from this?
I think the value is in the mindset, not the exact routine.
So take the principles, but adjust the intensity to fit your life?
Exactly. Find your version of the uncommon zone. It doesn't have to look like his.
That feels more realistic.
Let's recap the 5 key concepts. The 40% rule. Your mind quits way before your body does. The accountability mirror. Face your weaknesses honestly. Callusing the mind through deliberate discomfort. The cookie jar method for pulling strength from past victories. And embracing the uncommon by doing what others won't.
This week, I'm starting with the accountability mirror.
Perfect. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more insights on mental toughness and personal development.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time.